Hi, everybody. How are you? So I am recording week 5 because I had to miss the class. My son was longboarding and he gained a little bit too much speed on the hill and took a tumble and wound up with 4 stitches up in his head and his arm in a sling. And so he was pretty banged up. And I was actually sitting in the emergency room during the time that our class would have been. So priorities, right? And so I am just going to record this week's class, and then Saturday will be week 6, our last class. So, how is everybody doing? How was Bulletproof last week? Um, it's a little bit different, but like I said, we're just trying to shift our mindset to where we're going and what we're trying to focus on different, right? Change. We're trying to get our mind, subconscious mind, a little bit more comfortable with the idea of change because change is the only thing that's really guaranteed in life. So by now, week 5, we should be starting to put some of these things into place. I've heard from a few people that they've started releasing some weight. Yay, that's awesome. Because if that is what your goal is, then that's what we want. And so I'm really excited about that. I was recently, chatting with my nephew, so hopefully he'll get on and watch these videos. He was just recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And I bring him up because he's only 30 years old and it's lifestyle. And so he's early, young enough. They've already put him on medication, but he should be able to get off of the medication. And if he can really make a lasting change, then he should be able to, live a healthier life. So that's the whole thing is our, number one goal is, of course, preventing chronic illness. But the next goal is if we wind up with that diagnosis or those symptoms, that we are able to then turn them around by making the necessary changes. Now, in his situation, this is a shocking diagnosis, right? So he really, right now, is in a state of, psychological shock. And because of that, he has that life or death mentality. The subconscious mind recognizes that we talked about this in, I believe, week 1. His subconscious mind recognizes that life or death mentality, and it's going to have him 100% totally on board for making these changes because he realizes, oh my God, otherwise I could literally die. And so now that he's recognized that, he's making the changes, he's doing great, and he'll continue to do great. At some point, he's going to become comfortable in the path that he's at. I expect he'll be off the medication by that point. He will have lost a whole bunch of weight by that point. And then that little bit of doubt will start to creep back in. And this is where, if he is able to get his subconscious mind on board, it will carry him through those times and it will really hold out for a longer term lifestyle so that it never comes back again and that he never has to worry about it coming back again because his subconscious mind is so on board, not just for the short term, but also for the long term. So that's really our goal here is to be able to, if you're experiencing health issues, to be able to start reversing those health issues. If you are not experiencing health issues, to be able to avoid getting to that point of having those health issues. That is the goal and the purpose of why, we're doing these classes and being able to try to get everybody thinking about what it is that we need to do to make sure that we're totally, completely, 100% all in. Once we have our subconscious mind on board with us, it does literally become effortless because we no longer have to focus constantly on food. And what you focus on, you create. So, guess what happens when we focus on food all the time? We're constantly wanting to eat food. And so, if we're able to shift our focus to other things, the weight takes care of itself, the health takes care of itself, because we've programmed our subconscious minds, we've trained our subconscious mind to be on board with what it is that we're trying to do, and then we're able to start focusing on some other things that we're trying to do, which is pretty exciting. So, last week we talked about habits and paradigms and our circle of influence. And this week I'd like to take that and to a step further, and how do we change the pattern? How do we interrupt the pattern when all of a sudden we seem to be in a negative cycle, a negative circle? So that's really, where we're going to go this week and just talk about that. And then we're going to actually practice a few different methods of interrupting the patterns. I learned a few more this weekend. For those of you who don't know, I was in Toronto this weekend. It was phenomenal. Got to meet Brian Byro, who is a breakthrough coach. And of course, I had Team Diamond Global Network there, who, is just an amazing, super supportive, phenomenal team. And so it was very exciting. I learned a ton, listened to Tony Robbins my whole drive there as well. So I was really able to indulge in quite a bit of education over my weekend. So pretty exciting. And so a few more techniques that I, came up with, and I took some notes, and so I'll share those as well. All right, so I'm just gonna stop this section right now, but we will move into, patterns and breaking those patterns when I come back. All right, thanks.